Okay, let's get started. So today we are going to learn about the user stories. Okay, today is day 8 and we are going to learn about for this open EMR project how to create user stories. Okay, so first we are going to go with the receptionist module. So this screen, right, that's for this screen only we are going to write the user stories. So I am in Jira board and I'm on click. Okay, let me start recording. Okay, so I click on create and I'm going to first create the epics. Okay, first epic for this story. So creation of or automation of front desk portal. Okay, so summary is what we are going to do is we are going to write. So there's a format for writing the user story. Okay, as a receptionist, I need to view the calendar tab so that I can schedule the appointments for my patients. Okay, so first is we are telling we want that this calendar, right? This is the one. We want this to be shown. This is the first module we are going to work on. Okay, so what is there here? If you see, it is calendar. Give me a second. Screen. Okay, so as a receptionist, I need to log in first. Okay, so this includes login functionality. So I need to view, right? So first what will happen, they have to log in. And then once they log in with a valid username and a password, they should be able to see this calendar tab. Okay, so what you're going to write in the description is you're going to write like detailing what needs to happen. Okay, so receptionist um, needs a valid, first number one, a valid username, a valid password. Okay, and then once they view in, they should be able to um, see the calendar tab. So once they click on the calendar tab, they must be able to view the facility, right? For example, if you see here, there must be all the providers. Like for this particular, there can be one or more hospitals like combined together in the same portal, because usually in the US, right, it's all sister companies. So maybe the first floor is all gynecologists and the second floor is like full of labs, and like, so we need to see everything, whether there is a pharmacy, whether there is a hospital, or there is a clinic. So all that will be integrated. Mostly they are all owned by the same owners. So they're all sister companies, but the names will be different. Okay, it's a, for example, Christie Hospital, Christie Pharmacy, like that. So we want to incorporate all the facilities and all the providers. So who all will be available? For example, here, Dr. Lee and Dr. Smith and Dr. Stone. It's only these three people are there, and they are the we have to schedule for these three people. So the receptionist has to view the calendar on the left side and all the providers' names and everything, and then they are able to see the calendars and the slots. Okay, from 8 a.m. till, like, if you see, this is like evening 5:45. Okay, that's the last appointment because 6 o'clock I think it will be closed. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, yeah, 5:45. From 8 a.m. to 5:45. Everything, like every 15 minutes, he has an appointment. Okay. So we can like just click that and we can start scheduling. So once he clicks, that's different. But first, like what the receptionist has to see is first the calendar tab, then finder, then flow, recalls, patient, fees, admin, and all. So what you have to do, if this is a Pega application, I'm just giving you a real-time example. So if this is a Pega application, you have to create a prototype. Prototype means in here itself, like in Pega, you can create a prototype or you can have some prototype tools also. I can show you some of the tools. So what you're telling to the developer is this is how the front end should be, and this is how, like, the if you click on calendar, this is what it needs to be. Here needs to be that calendar box, and below that we need to have all the providers name and all the facilities name, and on the right side you need to have all the physicians schedules. Like this is what the prototype you will tell, and exactly how he was going to make. There can be a few changes that the developer can add or they can do, but you're going to give an idea of how that UI should look like. And when you create the prototype, right, you have to discuss with the business owners also that this is what you want. They may be like, yeah, I don't want this feature, I don't want that feature. They may tell that, but accordingly, you have to develop the prototype. Especially if you're working with like customer case facing UI perspective, right? This is what um, you have to definitely create that prototype and show it to them. So what you will do is you will create a screenshot. Okay, you will like exactly tell how it is, and you will create a screenshot. Let me share the screen now so that you'll understand how to. So you can use one of these prototyping tools. Okay, there are so many different tools, so you can use one of these tools. Okay, let me click here. Okay, you can see here Flinto or Webflow, or you can use um, Sketch. Sketch is very easy also. And
Ma'am,
yeah,
we can use balsamic also, right?
yeah, you can use balsamic also.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever
Okay.
is easier for you, just
Okay.
create a prototype on this like screen. Okay, UI prototype, and then you need to attach it here in the user story. Just attach it
Yeah.
here, browse, click, and attach it. Okay, why we are attaching that is like our developer has to have that idea on how exactly, like, login functionality, it will be the same depending upon the coding language, right? It's going to be the same, the UI is going to be the same, but once they log in, for physicians it's going to be different, and for receptionists it's going to be different. So we are going to give that like vision for the developer in the story itself. So you attach that, and then we are going to yeah, we are going to create this user story. Once you create that user story, and it will be, if you see, right, it will be in the backlog. If you go here, if you see, it will be in the backlog here. There are so many user stories. So so if you are able to if you're creating like 10 user stories, right? If it is in the backlog, it's not your job to like groom it. So we call it as sprint grooming. Okay, let me take a story grooming. Okay, during the sprint review call. Okay, it's called as story grooming. So what you will create the user stories, that's all. Okay, you will just add like the description and also acceptance criteria, that's all you will leave it. But during the sprint review call, the scrum master and the product owner, okay, what they will do is like they will be grooming the user story. So what is grooming the user story? Let me take an example here. So I'm going to take this one. If the user story needs to have a story point, that's a mandatory. Without story points, we cannot like progress, or we cannot pick up for the next sprint. So every user story needs to have a story point. If that particular user story needs to have some subtask, means that also you have to create. For example, I need to create a BRD for this, or maybe, yeah, BRD for this project. Okay, I need to create that, or I need to create a mapping document for this particular user story. Yes, or I need to create a UI prototype. Okay, so that all will be task. Under this particular user story, all this will be task. Once you complete one by one, you'll be closing it. So I've already told yesterday that story point estimation is basically upon, if it's one story point, it's 8 hours. In my project, it's like that. I don't know about other projects. In our project, it's like if it's one story point, we calculate it for 8 hours. So how we are going to do that story point estimation is how long it will take for the developer to develop that, and how long it will take for the tester to test that, and also the BA, right? If you're going to do all the coordination, you have to combine all the points, and you're going to give it as like maximum we recommend giving 8, not more than that. So you give all these story points. So why? Because we have to, I would like to ask you, give extra, maybe give a one pointer extra too, because if you are a newcomer, and then if you are going to have, you need to have KT with the other BAs, or you don't know the process, it will take some time for you. Please give that 1 point extra. If you are experienced, then you know like exactly how much time this is going to take. So let's say that it's going to be an 8 pointer. 8 pointer means it's going to take 8 days, right? 8 days to complete this for this particular user story. Under that particular user story, you have all these tasks. Task will not have any story points. Okay, only user story is has story points. So what is user story? The story of a user. So from a user's perspective only, we are writing all the stories. Okay, as a receptionist, as a physician, as a clinician, as a member. So like from their perspective only, we are writing every functionality. That is why it is called as user story. Below every user story you can have subtask, and the subtask and all, there is no story points needed. You're just going to like um, create subtask, and once you are done, you're going to make it as in progress, and then or you can go and make it as done. So BRD is completed. Next I have to complete the mapping document, that is in progress, or maybe that will take 1 day or 2 days, and then I completed that, it's done. Prototype I've completed, maybe it took only 4 hours, so that is also done. Now I can put all my comments here so that I can tag all the developer who's working on it. And I can say that please take a look, attached to BRD, attached mapping document, attached UI fit a prototype. Like this, you can like attach, give comments, tag him. Okay, tag him and give comments. If you want, you can ping him, but if you tag itself, he'll get a notification in his email ID. And once you've completed, once for the next sprint. So we are not picking the story in the current sprint. So how you will work is, there are two types. Like you will have your existing sprint, and you will be gathering requirements for future sprints. Existing user stories, you'll be working on it. But for future also, like for the next sprint or upcoming sprints, there'll always be intake requests, right? They'll submit something and you will go gather requirements. So you'll do both things. Existing sprint user stories also, you will be testing whatever coordination you want to do, you will do that. And if there are new projects coming up, you will schedule gathering requirement gathering calls for that new projects too. So existing sprint work also, you will have new project intakes. So you simultaneously, you'll be working on both these. So current sprint, you're finishing all the testing, you're getting the UAT sign off, and then you are making sure everything is going well, and you're deciding on the go live date, and you're going live. Okay, go live. So in that case, we are good. Then what will happen? You'll have one day before you go live. For example, we are going live this Friday. This Thursday, right? Thursday means like today. You'll be having your planning sprint planning calls for next Monday. From next Monday, if the new sprint is starting means, so you'll have like either on before that Friday or Thursday, no, that's when you'll have sprint planning call. In that sprint planning call, what your product owner or scrum master they will do is they will be looking at the backlog, and currently like how many stories it's being worked on, and is everything completed. Okay, these are the stories in backlog. Now we have to make sure that we do that prioritization meeting. So sprint planning itself, you will be doing prioritization, or you can do earlier also. We can make it as two calls if there are so many. It's a big team, right? So one is prioritization call, and then the second one is called a sprint planning call. So in prioritization, what you're going to do is, like for example, there are five BAs and they have created so many, like maybe like 20 to 30 user stories, but we have limited capacity, and also there are holidays for this next sprint. So which all stories needs to be essential? Essential means it has to be done. Essential. And then which is like priority. Priority means next to essential, and which is like which can be in watch. Watch means we are just watching on that user story. It can be picked, or it is fine if you leave it. Okay, there are three different types: essential stories, priority stories, and watch stories. For example, this receptionist story, right, that has to be picked up. That is an essential means now that user story you're going to pick from here to the current sprint. Okay, you'll pick it. And then other stories, for example, physicians, admin, and all, you can maybe after two sprints also you can do those stories, and all will be still in the backlog only. It will be in ready. So if you see, the user stories can be in three status. Okay, it is in open. Open means when you create, it will be in open. And then it will be in ready. Ready means like you're ready to pick up for the next sprint. Once you pick up for the next sprint, it will be in progress. After you complete the user story, it will be in um, resolved, and it can be closed. Okay, so here we don't have that because this is not paid one, right? This is a basic version, but in your office it will be more advanced. You'll not only see to do in progress done, you will see like ready, open. When you create, it will be in open, ready, and in progress and closed. So interviewer may be asking you, can you define what is the meaning of ready? That's a very, very popular interview question. What define ready status? What is ready? If a story is ready, what do you mean by if the story is ready to pick up for the next sprint? Means that user story contains all the information. For example, it contains all the, like for example, heading and also acceptance criteria, contains all the subtask, all the documentation required for that. Story points is added. We know like everything about the user story. So now the user story is ready for development. That's the meaning of ready. If a user story is in ready means, ready status means everything regarding that user story is complete. Now the developer can pick it up for next sprint and start development, and testing thing can test. That is the meaning for ready. Open means you just have created. You've created, but you have not added all the description, acceptance criteria, or documents related to that. You have not created process flow diagrams. So it's still in open. Or you can be in refining too. Refining in the sense you're still working on that. So you can create a story. It can be in open status, but it can also go to refining status. Refining means you're still working on, you still have two or three more calls, so it's still gathering requirements. In that stage, that user story will be in refining. So one advice, like what I will give you in practically itself, when you have a high level like idea about the project, please start creating user stories, because you'll forget. You have multiple calls, right? It's not only you're working on only one project. In my experience, you go to a call, you record the call, ask the permission, record the call, and then immediately after that, once the call is over, start creating user stories. Because if that is funded, if not funded means you're not going to do. but this is be funded, this is a mandate or something. You start creating user stories because you don't want to forget. So always the recording is there, but please start creating and start working on it. For the next call, if you get something, add the documents. The next call, if you get some process flow diagrams, whenever you have time, you create process flow diagram, please add it. Because otherwise, like, you'll be jumping from one call to another call to another call. There are like four different projects you're handling, production issues you're handling. In between that, there are multiple emails that you have to answer. Somebody is pinging you, I want that, I want this, like this. So many people will be interacting with you. You'll forget what is actually the new requirement also. And again, you have to go through a recording and all. So to save time, please start creating as soon as the call is finished. Whenever you have like 10-15 minutes, please start creating user stories, so that you know that you have created, it's in the backlog and you're adding points. In those stages, it needs to be in refining stage. It is not ready. Ready means everything regarding that user story is there, so the developer can pick it up for next sprint. Okay, these are very, very important interview questions. They'll definitely ask you for a case study and ask you to explain the whole process. So if this you are able to say, this is what exactly IT people are doing. Currently, everybody is doing this only. Whatever companies, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Twitter, Tesla, everything, they're doing the same thing. So if you're able to explain this properly, all these meetings, this is what I did. My roles and responsibility is I go to the requirement gathering calls, elucidation calls, and I gather requirements through all the techniques, and I create user stories. And every user story, I have to make sure that all the documentation is available. So my documentations are available in Confluence. I create here. So for example, here I create all my notes. Okay, my brainstorming session notes, my retrospective notes, my like yeah, all the notes, whatever everyday meeting notes, I make sure I document here. And on my brainstorming session notes, I document here. My 5-way analysis session, I document it here. So all the analysis, whatever you have done, you make sure that you document in Confluence. There are ready-made templates, so you're not doing anything from scratch. And your BRD also you can document here. If you want, you have an external vendor, you're creating a BRD for them, so you're going to document everything in Confluence. And I will create all my user stories in Jira. And if I want to draw some diagrams, then I'll make sure that I integrate Glyphy. Okay. Yeah. So I will integrate this Glyphy, and I will make sure that all my UI diagrams you can draw through Glyphy also. Okay. So I draw everything, make sure everything is documented. And see here, this is one process flow. End to end, everything is there. And UML diagrams are there. So everything I'll make sure it's documented. And once it is ready, I will make sure that that particular story. So they will be asking you, do you know what is prioritization? What are the techniques? What is invest technique? What is estimation, right? How do you do story points estimation? How do you do? What is Fibonacci series? And tell me like how the story points are given. And if there is like they're giving too much pressure, what will you do? And if there are so many conflicts, the developer is not able to do it. In that case, what you do? How do you manage the business owners? So they may give you some real life like scenario based. So for that, you need to know agile project means what are the meetings they are going to have. You're going to have sprint review meeting where story grooming will be done. Then you are going to have prioritization meeting where we are going to make sure all the stories, and we're going to review all the user stories, and we're going to make sure that okay, for the next sprint, which stories are essential, which are on priority, and what are which stories can be in watch. Okay, we have to make, basically you're making sure which stories can be essential and be picked up in the next sprint. So prioritization is very important. Sprint review is important. Sprint planning is important. And then at the last, once you pick up the user story, right now we have to um, create the SIT documents and all. So that maybe I can tell you how to create test scenarios, how to create test plan and everything. That every use case like we can take and we can create. But for now, you need to know or if you have time, like we don't have class tomorrow on Monday, right? If you have some time, please start creating user stories for this particular module, and then I can review whether those user stories are good, or create one diagram for me, or create one confluence page and then tell me is this good, or create one diagram, one confluence page on one or two or three user stories for me, and I can review with you if you are doing as expected. Okay, any questions till now?
So, hi Pradeepa.
Yeah.
So, for user story, we'll be writing in a summary, right?
Yeah, you will write. You will
Yeah,
write
yeah,
summary.
in
You will write
summary.
description. Yes,
Yeah,
description.
description pane will be like for writing acceptance criteria.
So there are three. Let me take that. So here, yeah. So epic name, right? This is called as the heading. Okay, and summary, right? This is called as description.
Yeah, where we will be writing user story over here.
This is epic name. Yeah, this is how you will write, like the heading. Like for example, as
Yeah, user story description will be written.
and then
And
here
in
details.
details in the sense like we need to mention clear about whether that user story is accept means
Everything, like for example, I've told here, right, that first we need that user needs to be an existing user, needs to have a login and a password. Then once they entered, what and all they have to see,
okay.
so that you will add. And acceptance criteria will be basically very simple. This story is complete once the receptionist is able to log in.
So the testing will be based on the acceptance criteria only
Yeah.
because these scenarios only will be there in testing, right? They have to fulfill these
Hmm.
steps.
Hmm. So this story is complete once a receptionist is able to log in and view the calendar module. That's all. That is the acceptance criteria.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is the role of a product owner in this project?
So, so you are a BA, you're going for 3 to 4 projects like this. There will be 2, 3 BAs, right? So everybody will create their own user stories. The product owner's main responsibility is they have to make sure that in the backlog, for example, here we call it as backlog, right? So if you see here backlog, there can be so many user stories. It's not only your user stories, but also others' user stories also. So they have to make sure their main work is like scheduling this sprint planning calls and prioritization meetings. So I have 100 user stories for my team. How to prioritize everything? Because for you, your project is essential. For me, my project is essential. But we have very limited developers and testers.
Okay.
So they will be like, okay, among all these, we have to prioritize. Like, tell me which one has to be essential. Then I'll be like, yeah, okay, we have only like 3 developers and 2 of them are going on PTO. So we have only like each can do only 15 points. So maximum we can do maybe only like 45 points. A developer can take only 45 points. Okay. Now what I can do, let me pick up the stories which are very, very highly essential. And because every user story can be like one can be 8 pointer, one can be 5 pointer like that. So we have as a team, remember you are an IT application, and as a BA, you yourself, like senior BA, you will be collecting projects for requirements for 3 to 4 projects. Other lead BAs, they'll be doing 3 to 4 projects. So overall, there can be at least like 10 projects going on. So we need to make sure which is essential, which has to go live. Others will be in refining only. That a decision you cannot take. You can talk for your projects, but you cannot talk for the as a team as a whole, right? That what about if can you understand my point, Rupak? There are 2 to 3 BAs are there.
Yeah.
We are one team and everybody is under one manager. 2 to 3 BAs are there and everybody has four projects. So everybody has created some 20 user stories. Who will decide which has to go live?
But I have a doubt in this case.
Mm.
Because usually what happens is that the product owner only creates those user stories,
No,
right?
no, no, no. No, practically they don't, but they don't have IT knowledge. They're morely on the non-technical side. Mostly
Okay,
what this, they will not have knowledge like you. You will be having end-to-end knowledge like about that application, about like data flow. You will have like complete thorough because you are gathering requirements, right? You will know when this has to go live, whether it's a state mandate or not. They will be on a higher perspective. They know this person is working on maybe this open EMR project. Maybe this BA is working on a different project. This person is working on a different project. The high level they know, but in and out they don't know nothing. Like they don't know the data flow. They don't know about testing. They will not know. You will have knowledge on all these techniques, how to test, how to get UAT sign off, how to go live. So that IT perspective knowledge only you will have. They won't have. Scrum
okay,
Master, product owner, they will not be involved in any kind of testing. All they'll be involved in this Scrum Master will be like mostly for scheduling the stand-up calls, everyday status calls, right? So he has to make sure that's done. And product owner will be mostly scheduling all the sprint planning calls, retrospective calls, prioritization calls.
okay.
Yeah.
And I have one more doubt. I don't know whether it makes sense or not. Like usually with other IT companies, when we are dealing with those business clients, they also have an IT department, right? But what about this healthcare thing? I have no idea about it. So if there is any technical thing, how would we be able to know about the client's infrastructure, the non-functional requirements? Who would help us with that?
Can you give me a scenario? I'm not able to understand the question. See, every company in US,
Mhm,
right? Every company has an
mhm.
IT department.
Okay, so in healthcare also an IT department will be there.
Yeah, any company, right? How can they have be just healthcare and don't have an IT?
Okay, okay. No, no, I don't have any idea about the healthcare. So that is the reason I'm asking you because you're an
Yeah,
expert.
any pharmacy company, any hospital or any
Mm-hmm.
insurance, everybody, any healthcare company, they will have their own IT. That is beneficial instead of like them outsourcing everything to maybe CTS, or that's not profitable for them.
Okay. So
Any
there would
health,
be people
yes,
who would
inside
help us.
healthcare system. Yeah, the products can
Okay,
be healthcare, but they will have an
okay,
IT department. That's where we will all be working.
okay, okay. Because we need to know about the infrastructure at the end in order to come up with the solution.
Right. So
Yeah, yeah.
you'll be a part of that healthcare industry. Products
Mm-hmm.
can be different. Products can be, you can be working for a hospital, but you are in their IT department.
Okay, I got you. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Here it's mostly everything is corporate, right? Not like
Yeah,
India, not small, small. Here it's like everything is corporate. If there is a hospital, that hospital is all over Virginia. If there is a hospital that is in like major hospitals, right? New York has very big hospitals. All over New York, they will have branches. And Florida
okay,
means all over Florida, there is a children's hospital. All over West Virginia, there'll be the same hospital, same logo. They will have like different specialities. So it's
okay.
not like very small, small clinics like in India.
Yeah,
Here,
yeah.
it's all mostly MNCs, corporates.
Okay.
Everything is private.
My doubt is clear now. Thank you.
Yeah. In US, is everything is private. Forget about, it's not like in India,
Okay,
right? So mostly everything is private. Everything is corporate.
okay. I have one more question.
Mhm.
In an interview, if the interviewer would ask me, like, how many story points do you pick for one of the sprints that you're working on? So,
Hmm.
what should be my answer in that? Because in real time, I do not have a fair idea about
So
it.
you can say that my sprint was like 4 week sprint. Okay. So in my project, it was 4 week sprint. 4 week sprint means usually it is 20 days. And
Okay,
20 days in the sense, according to my estimation, I can only pick 15 story points. So 50
okay.
story points means
One
that
story
can
point
be,
is 8 hours.
no, no, no. See here, this story, this particular story can be a 1 pointer, 2 point. Yesterday I told you that Fibonacci series.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it can be a 1 pointer, 2 pointer, 3 pointer, 5 pointer, 8 pointer, 13 pointer, depending upon the
Mm-hmm.
complexity of the user story.
Okay.
So you can take 15 1 pointers or 3 5 pointers or maybe 1 8 pointer, 1 5 pointer. It depends.
So, in total, 15 story points.
Yeah, that's your capacity max.
Okay. Okay.
If it's 2 weeks, can you tell me? If it's 2 week sprint, I have only
Um,
10 working days, then how many user stories I will pick? How many story points?
Eight story points, and here Pradeepa, like for development, and it should have for testing also, so we have to consider in that way, right? We have to, once the development has been done, it has to move for
No,
the
no,
test.
no. So how we will do that? Yeah, a very crucial question you have asked. Okay. In sprint planning, we will have an Excel sheet. Okay. That the sheet is called is we will have an Excel sheet. And there is a formula to calculate how many, if there are 10 people. Okay, sorry about that. This call got disconnected. Okay. So this is Arvind here. Yeah. So Arvind, like in the planning call, right? Usually the product owner will have an Excel sheet or some kind of sheet they will be having where they must be able to, like, for example, here we have a planner, right? Yeah. So there will be an Excel sheet. What they will do is, like, there are like 5 people or 10 people in our team. Usually, what we do is like everyone will not have 15 points. Right now, I'm saying that you will have 15 points, but in reality, everyone will not have 15 points. It's the seniors who are having this 15 points. If you are junior and all, your points will be reduced. They will give you only, like, initially, like only this month you're starting, right? They will give only maybe 10 pointers, or maybe sometimes they don't even give if you are joining as an intern and all. Very first month it will be observation only, so it's not like everybody is getting 15 points. But the seniors who are already there, they will be to their full capacity, they must be able to take that story point. What we will do is, like, we have to, there are 10 people there and everybody is like 15 points, and two of them are new journeys, so we are not going to assign them. Maximum the team's velocity is maybe like maybe we can take only 100 points. Okay. So it's the responsibility of a product owner to make us comfortable. We cannot be like taking up on user stories since everything is being funded, and we cannot like confirm with the business owners like, yeah, I can do this project, this can go live, I can develop that, my developer can do this, that, and all. We cannot do that. This is an IT team, and the scrum team velocity is like very, very, very limited. So they will be using a formula to calculate on, if it is a senior person, like how many story points can we give? If it is a junior, how many we can give? If it's an intern, how many? That's a responsibility of a product owner. We are not involving in it. All we have to do as a BA is we will join this call, okay, prioritization call, and we were going to tell that I'm fine, I can get only 15 user stories, but this open EMR receptionist module has to go live. That is a mandate from my business owner. So you tell that for this module is mandatory. This has to go live in next sprint. From my perspective, in that 15 point, I have to take this. So, but developer can choose, his points will be different, right? For you, you are creating the BRD, you are creating all the mapping document, you're creating protocol. For you, this can be an 8 pointer. But for the developer, this can be a 5 pointer. So from your points, you're reducing the work. If, for example, there is one login or user story, that can be for you, it is a 1 pointer. What you're going to do is you're going to test. But to create that for him, it can be an 8 pointer. So you can take the same user story, okay? And for you, this can be a 1 pointer. So you're taking this and you're taking the additional maybe 10 stories. But for developer, he's going to do development of the story. This will be an 8 pointer for him. So in that Excel sheet, right, we're going to combine all the points. So this, um, so 3 points for the developer, 2 points for you, totally 5 points. I give totally 5 points. So this is a combination of developer points and your points. You're not giving only your points. Okay. During in that Excel sheet, whatever the product owner is filling, right, in that only your points will be accumulated. So they'll be like, for this story, it's assigned to both for Pradeep and another developer. Pradeepa's points is 2 pointers. For that developer, it's 3 pointers. So in that, from that 15 point, the 2 point will go. then I'll have 13 more points, and I can accordingly I can choose my next stories. That will happen in the sprint planning or prioritization call. You got it?
You mean, Pradipha, both will be happen, like developing and testing for that story points estimation.
Right.
Combination of both will be
Hmm,
given at a
hmm,
time.
hmm, hmm. If it is
Okay.
exceeding 13, then we are going to break that. So for development, maybe it's a development is a separate story. Your name is not there. For testing and implementation, you have maybe it is split. 13 pointer is split into 8 and 5. Development story, only his name is there. Your name is not even there. For testing story, your name and his name is there.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
got
not
it.
that every user story your name should be there. It's not like that.
Okay, Pradipha.
Yeah. Any other doubts anybody has on this? Is very, very important
Yes,
topic they
ma'am.
will ask.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. I have understood that this is a kind of set. This is a kind of combination of all pointers. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. My question is that you have shown some tools about the prototype tools,
Hmm.
but something is unclear to me. So, can you please give me a short example so that I can understand the purpose of usage the tools actually?
This prototypes.
Yes.
So what you are doing with prototype? That's your question.
I want to know the purpose of usage. Okay.
Purpose of
The
that
main purpose.
the the story, or why we are using prototypes in the story.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Why I'm
So yeah, so the developer is using some coding language, right? Let's say that he is using Pega. Hmm?
yes.
And he, without, like, you are giving only requirements in writing. Okay, this dashboard he is not seeing you. This is the final product. He is not seeing you. And the business, you gathered all the requirements and everything is in words. Okay. So imagine that you have not seen this dashboard, but you are having only this everything in words, like I need a calendar. Just close your eyes and think, I need a calendar. Receptionist has to log in, I need a calendar. And also need a doctor's names, and also need, how will he imagine and do? This is like building a
Okay.
house without having a map or maybe architectural diagram.
Okay, okay. It's kind of a blueprint. Okay.
Hmm, hmm. So
Oh,
prototype is
so
nothing but you're giving a visual representation of what the business owners wants.
okay, okay. Okay, it is a totally predictive thing. It's a totally futuristic thing. It's
Right.
kind of roadmap.
Hmm.
Okay, okay. I
Especially
got the
when you're
point. Okay,
doing it from scratch, he will have no idea.
okay, okay.
If it's an existing project enhancements, that's different. But if this is going to be a brand new project and you're going to do all the UI development from scratch, he'll be like, tell me how the screen should look. Otherwise, this can be in, this can be here, this can be here, this can be here. It can be anyway, right? He can develop anyway.
Hmm. Yes.
So we are like creating that miniature. We are showing that diagram so that, and you get approval from business owners also. So it's not that you take
Hmm.
responsibility and also you draw something, show it to the business owners, and you you just verify with them, is this okay? Do you want to change anything? Because they are the end users. And
Yes,
if they are
yes, yes.
fine, then you add it in the Jira story so that the
Yes,
developer
yes,
has
yes.
fair idea on what to do the development, how it has to look.
Oh, okay. Okay, ma'am. Thank
Yeah, otherwise he's like blindly going to do something, and business owner is like, this looks very ugly. I didn't expect this. Okay.
you. Okay.
Yeah, that has happened also. So initially in waterfall like that only, right? They don't see to get to see anything. Only at the end of the UAT project, like that testing, they'll be able to see the visually the software, and they'll be like, this is not what we expected. This is like, that's why like people move to agile. So
Yes.
if they're not
And
happy,
ma'am,
right, then we can change in next sprint also. We can change.
I see, I see. Yes, I got the point actually.
Hmm.
Okay, ma'am. As a business analyst, did you use functional or non-functional testing? Or because these are what for testers, but did you have to do this thing?
What is functional and non-functional?
Yes.
I'm asking you, what's the difference? Do you know?
No, actually, I don't know. That's why I'm just asking.
Functional means it has to, like for example, the receptionist now logging in, able to do all the functional work, right? Able to schedule for Dr. Lee, able to schedule for Dr. Smith, able to add all the new patients and everything. This is the functional requirement, fully functional. The software is fully functional, we are able to do everything. Non-functional is the loading of this. For example, the login time, how many seconds it's taking for the user to log in, how many seconds this is going to be very slow, then that's a performance issue.
Okay.
Or if the user ID, the password can be leaked, somebody can hack the software, then that's a security issue, right?
Okay.
Performance is nothing but how long it's taking for the data to be loaded into the database. For example, I click something, I schedule an appointment, how long it's taking for the member to get the email notification, whether it's immediate or it's going to take some like 10 minutes. Remember, in like some applications, right, you'll be just waiting to get the notification. You'll still say that no, I didn't receive it, I didn't receive it. For example, Paytm, you scanned it, amount has gone, but still you don't get that notification. That is all performance issue.
Yes.
Okay, so that is not in our hands. Our development cannot take care of this performance issues and all. That will be like slowly. Initially, phase one, we are going to work only fully on the functionality level.
Okay, then
Im-
I mean, for non-functional testing, whatever I understood, it's like for the customer expectations.
Right. So you can do
In the
this performance testing also, but initially we are not going to do that. That is like I need maybe 100 test data, 100 logins, and I want immediately everyone like to log in at the same time and test whether the system can handle it or not, or it's getting like broken.
Pradeepa, I want to give the example here regarding functional and non-functional. Correct me here. Functional requirement is generally we look how the system is working.
Mhm.
Means here like functionality and all. And non-functional requirements is like as you said, performance, loading, security. So that comes under non-functional, right?
Right.
Yeah. Thank you.
okay,
That
thank you,
also
thank you.
testing we can do. Okay, non-functional requirements testing we can do, performance testing we can do. But first, we will focus on the functionality level, and then only like to test this non-functionality requirements, right? For example, like I need 100 users to just log in at the same time to see whether the application can handle that. Also, we can do. But first, the business owners be working. They'll be focusing only on the functionality first, more than the performance. That and all will be like phase two. You got it? First, we need to have the application developed. Then, once we are fine with all the features, now we can test to some level. We can test the security or function. I mean, this performance and all. For that, also, we need proper test data, and then we can go live. And if there is any production incidents, accordingly, we can do some enhancements. The system
Okay,
is
it
able
is
to.
going for functional first.
Right, right. I mean, see, non-functional, we cannot test, right? See, in reality,
Yes,
let's
it
say
is
that there
depending on
are.
yes. I mean, it is depending on the customer side, I think.
I mean,
Okay.
customer, but we
Mhm.
also Monday through Friday, there'll be huge people like logging in, on weekends, nobody's. So we never know if something in production issue, major issues are happening and software is not working, then we have to take measures. For that, we need to have the
Thank,
product first. Yeah.
thank you, ma'am, for the clarification.
Yeah. But you can say in the interview, they ask, like, tell me the difference. Have you worked on it? You can always say, for performance testing, I've done perf testing. And so
Mhm.
usually it's more than 25 users, business units. We create test data in UAT,
Mhm.
and then we ask them to like log in and then maybe test, and then at the same time just to see how that application is working, whether it's able to accept the load. Like that you can tell.
I see.
Mhm. So SIT,
So as a
UAT,
business,
that both you should need to know how to test. SIT system integration. Don't say that I'm a BA, only tester has to do. So there's something called system analyst role where you will be the tester and the BA.
okay, that's the thing I want to know. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, BA means no testing. That's very plain BA, right? If you're going for Pega, Salesforce, and all, you will also do the SID testing. There'll be no separate testing team. So you'll gather requirements, you'll give it to the developer because they'll be very highly paid. The pay is on all like it can be like 2 crores. Like in US, right? Salesforce and all like 210.
Yes.
Okay, it's like about like 2 crores to 3 crores. That's the package, every annual package. So expectation is you will be like doing the combination of BA, gathering requirements, creating test cases, and then you'll do fully like testing and UAT also. And so it's like it's not BA, it's called system analyst. So you'll gather requirements, also do SIT testing and everything.
I see.
Package will be very high since you're doing both. Okay, so it's good you learn all that because most product based companies expect you to do SIT testing and all. So my recommendation is if you want to have a hands-on experience, because I told you like it's like cycling only. Unless you do it, you will not learn it. Just by seeing someone cycle, you're not going to learn it, right? Same thing. You have to create user stories, you have to create flow diagrams, you have to create all these USD test scenarios, everything by yourself and practice. Take this case study and practice. And Monday or Tuesday, you can submit the assessments, and I can review and give you feedback. If you want, you can do that.
Sure, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. I think we're good for today. Happy weekend, and I'll see you on next Tuesday.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
Bye.